I mean, if you can say biased, but then, that's what I understand, and obviously my
that's okay. That's
is based out of the literature and all that stuff that I've read.
Sure. So tell me, what is climate change? Is it for real? Is it hype?
See, climate change, it seems whatever evidence we have already seems quite real in the first place, and also the fact that some of these areas have already started witnessing changes, which are, let's say, the last past year we have seen about 6 or 7 extreme weather events across the world, starting from Pakistan to Florida in the US, and then Australian floods, and then New Zealand earthquake, then Japan tsunami. But obviously, I know that there's, yet no direct connection to climate change, as scientists are working on it to sort of establish connections. But what it indicates, in fact, is that the fact that projections that ICC had made earlier in its post-assessment report, these are sort of manifestations. We can't sort of every time there's an earthquake and every time there's a flood, we can't really pinpoint and say that, well, this is because of climate change. But certainly the intensity and the increase and the probability, let's say, all these are sort of
remote instances earlier.
Yeah, IPCC, and we can say that now it's slowly becoming sort of a clearer more and more. Obviously, as the day passes by, as the system report comes in, we will have a clearer idea about how we can link them and so on and so forth. But for now, it seems quite evident. Also changing, there are different kinds of changes that have been noticed, like ecosystem damages, like life cycle changes of various animals, which are really markers and drivers of this change. Because obviously we human beings don't react to changing climate or changing temperature as much as animals or the natural world do. So the changes there are more acute and rapid, and also we can see those changes, and from those changes we can sort of infer that yes, since these things are changing. For example, if pollination period changes, if an animal's breeding cycle changes, these are things which we see, and their life is more dependent on the climate than ours. So that I think there's a very little doubt that climate change is happening any longer. Because I know about the climate skeptics and I know what their point of view is. But then slowly, as the day progresses, as time progresses, I think it's becoming more and more clear that it is not a hype, it is not a hoax, it's not something which is the world community has sort of connived and.
Yeah, I understand. So climate change is occurring because there is this carbon layer outside, and hence the light cannot get reflected, and hence the temperature is rising. Is that what climate change is all about, isn't it?
No, it's not that. It's more complicated than that.
So can you explain me what is the scientific reason for climate change?
What you said is more because what you said is applies to the ozone layer and not climate change.
Okay.
Climate change and ozone layer are two completely different phenomena, geophysical phenomena, let's say.
Okay.
Climate change is the fact that when historically there's been emissions of greenhouse gases in various forms. Chiefly carbon dioxide, but also methane and also other kinds of gases, which have contributed to a certain warming effect. What happens is that as more and more carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere, and the concentration of gases a change in the atmosphere, that's what it's supposed to be, then the sunlight reflection and capturing of sunlight becomes more acute on the surface of the earth. So the earth's surface gets heated up more because the reflection and the absorption balance of sunlight becomes skewed. So that is what it is because that is what it causes climate change, let's say. But yeah, that's what is the probably sort of actual reason of it. Now that the carbon in the atmosphere is I mean, there are various ways of knowing what the temperature of the globe was, including measuring the ice temperature, measuring the Arctic ice temperature at various levels, at various depths, to know what the carbon concentration or what the carbon dioxide concentration was when the ice when the ice formed. So there are various different kinds of ways in which we can do that. And also what it leads to is not only warming but also changing. It's not only warming, it's not only temperature increase, it also leads to change in the monsoon patterns because of the changes in the atmosphere, the gases and the distribution of temperature in the atmosphere. The monsoon cycle changes and the monsoon cycle gets affected and precipitation patterns get affected across various parts of mostly in tropical regions more, but across the globe as well, what we can see now.
Okay. Now, so what are I have seen Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth. Wasn't it about climate change?
It was about climate change.
So what are the basic impacts? One is the glacier melting, one is the Arctic disappearing and all that. Is that what is occurring?
Yeah, there are various kinds of things occurring, including glacier melting, including snow melts, including changing monsoon patterns, including changing the life cycle of plants, animals, extinction of certain species, and so on. So a lot of things have happened, a lot of things are happening.
And what is the impact of it on the economy and our quality of life of normal people who are staying in Mumbai, Delhi, Ranchi, and Chennai?
Mumbai, Delhi, Ranchi, Chennai, that's a curious fact. So, for example, if you look at Mumbai flood, I was in Mumbai. I've been living in Mumbai for about 6-7 years. I just shifted to Delhi. But if you talk about Mumbai has, we all know what happened in the flood. We all know that was a cloudburst by now. But then the extreme weather events and the precipitation patterns changing will obviously have a profound impact on the city's infrastructure. Mumbai, I know for a fact that Mumbai's stormwater drains cannot carry more than, 30 millimeters an hour of rain. So that maximum capacity is something like 25 or 30 millimeters of rain an hour. And if it gets more than that, which is now going to be more and more common under climate change, it's obviously going to be flooded. And nobody can do anything about it in the first place. If we don't start changing the entire structure and don't start replacing the old pipes with the new ones and so on. So that's one. Temperature increase obviously has a direct influence on human health. Temperature greatly affects us. At the same time, temperature allows certain vectors, certain mosquitoes, kinds of mosquitoes to breed faster, to breed over a prolonged period of time, to breed in time periods which is called the window period, which was not earlier, which would not happen now, for example, which would not be prevalent now. So these are different kinds of aspects, like on health, on agricultural production, on fisheries. For example, coolies and other fisher folk communities have already started witnessing various kinds of hardships in their life cycle.
How should one go about combating or mitigating climate change?
Mitigation is, again, you must understand that there is a certain atmospheric space which we have, and that space is half full, let's say. And that half full is because developed countries have been emitting greenhouse gases since the Industrial Revolution, since their industrial production leaped ahead. Now that, so what happens in the bargain is that developing countries like India or these developed countries or very poor countries in Africa, they have let's say 50% space left in the atmosphere to grow or to emit without causing climate change. Now that they can only do if the developed countries, because developed countries obviously have not stopped emitting, they're still emitting. So if they are allowed to keep emitting, and also these countries sort of start emitting more and more if we all can expect